Latino, Native American man, God burned you into a tribe. You belong to a tribe. If your father is one of these on this sign, a so-called Negro, a so-called Haitian, a so-called Latino, Native or Seminole Indian, you are one of the 12 lost tribes of the nation of Israel.
That's right.
God assigned you to a tribe based on who your father is.
That's right.
The people you've been learning the Bible from, they've been lying to you.
That because Martin Luther King told us to integrate, we lost the ability to do what every other race of people and every other community of people does all across this world. That is to deal with our own problems and our own issues, with our own family and our own God and our own laws, our own schools, our own everything. We in the middle of Chinatown, a communist country, China, that the United States of America is getting ready to go to World War III with nuclear missiles, Marines, Special Forces, all of that right now, all across the world. The Chinese Sea, the Arab Sea, the United States, China is getting ready to go to war with America. But you don't see Chinese citizens getting snatched up off the street. You don't see them overdosing in the street. You don't see them in the soup line. You don't see them in social services. Do you know why? Because they don't have a traitorous Martin Luther King that teaches them to love their oppressor.
Right.
They don't have a traitorous Martin Luther King and worthless religious leaders that teach them to join the people that put us in slavery for hundreds of years and hung us from trees.
Right.
Who is supposed to be in charge of your community? Before integration, black fathers were in charge of the black community. Black uncles were in charge of the black community. Native American fathers were in charge of the Native community. And because we integrated with Martin Luther King, now we have other people's fathers policing our community.
That's right.
We got other people's uncles and nephews and mothers and sisters taking charge over our families, and our families are destroyed and we don't know what to do. God has the solution in the Bible, and it's so perfect that everybody does it automatically. Give me 14.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1, verse 14. And ye answered me, and said, the thing which thou hast spoken is good for us to do.
The thing that's getting ready to be spoken of is good to be done. That's what it says in the Bible. Keep going.
Verse 15. So I took the chief of your tribe.
The chief of your tribes. The chief of your tribes. Black, Latino, Native American man, God burned you into a tribe. You belong to a tribe. If your father is one of these on this sign, a so-called Negro, a so-called Haitian, a so-called Latino, Native or Seminole Indian, you are one of the 12 lost tribes of the nation of Israel.
That's right.
God assigned you to a tribe based on who your father is.
That's right.
If you think it does not matter, wait until you fall at the mercy of your oppressor's tribe.
That's right.
Wait until the Arabs tribes get their opportunity to get their hands on your black behind.
Right.
Wait until the Asians and the East Indians ruling in the Caribbean get an opportunity to take over your family. See what evil they do. See what evil Trump does. What evil Pam Bondi does. What evil Kristi Noem does. Because you don't think it matters that God said you were a part of a tribe. You think you're a Democrat and Republican and you can vote and you can integrate. God never gave us that permission. God has been punishing us for disobeying him for centuries because we follow preachers like stupid Martin Luther King telling us to obey, to join our slave master. Keep reading.
Wise men.
Wise men, men of wisdom, the men that rule the black, Latino, and Native American communities are useless.
That's right.
A black mayor is useless. A black police chief is useless. Black city council, useless. Native American council, useless. Bureau of Indian Affairs, NAACP, useless. The Urban Caucus, Congressional Black Caucus, Democratic, Republican Party, it is all useless to our people. We still 1 million in jail. We still in INS detention centers. We still living on the street. We still strung out on drugs. It's goddamn goddamn useless. We got to get back to what God says in the Bible. The only race of people on the planet that keeps the same useless civil rights leaders for 60 years. If this was Africa, Africans would have gotten rid of Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. If this was Asia, Asians would have gotten rid of Martin Luther King and Jesse Jackson. The white man got rid of his traitorous leaders. That's how they got free from the British. Nobody allows a weak, failed leader to stay in charge except if you black, Latino, or Native American. Then you can fail and remain in charge. Well, God is taking the power away from you. God is taking the power away from our worthless leaders, and now it is time for our people to turn to who God put in charge. Keep reading.
Wise men and known, and made them heads over you.
God said he's going to make a man of God heads over you. We've been going to church looking for men of God, and all we found was robbers, liars, and pedophiles. That's all we found in church. Child molesters. Every church, every denomination, every continent across this country, they sweeping off dozens of cases of child molestation. They don't even have to go to jail for it. They just get moved to another church. Time for us to abandon Christianity. Keep going.
Captains over thousands.
God said it's supposed to be captains over thousands ruling our communities. So that your son doesn't think that picking up a gun and a pack of drugs makes him a man. You better get in the UPK. Keep going.
And captains over 50.
Captains over 50s. Keep going.
And captains over 10.
And captains over 10s. Why does it say this? Because you need a man of God to help deal with your problems. You need a man that knows the Lord, that knows the scriptures. There's not a robber, not a scam artist, not a child molester, not a thief that tells the truth, whether it puts his life in danger or not. That's what Christ and the disciples did. Your pastors are cowards. They didn't tell you COVID was coming. They told you you was going to be blessed. They didn't tell you that the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And no matter how much you straighten your hair, you will never be a part of his society. They didn't tell our Latino brothers. They thought you could fight and get citizenship into America. And look how many veterans get deported out of America. Into Jamaica, into Haiti, into Mexico, into El Salvador. America don't give a damn about nobody. Nobody but the oppressor, because that's the true American. You don't count as an American black man, Latino, Native American man. When have you been treated like you part of the team? When? When they put the soldiers on the front lines, when they didn't give the black soldiers the proper equipment to fight in World War I or World War II, when they left out you dying in the wars and removed our names from the memorials in the Netherlands and the National Gallery of Art, when they removed the Navajo code talkers from existence, and they don't even teach about what we did in America. God said it's time to separate. God is bringing America to the ground. Why do you think the army is walking through the streets of your cities? When have you ever seen the United States Army walking through the streets of your city with the civilians? America's over. They know it's over. God is bringing an end to it. You can't stop it. God is causing this to happen. Why? Because it's time for you to wake up, black man. Latino, Native American man. It is time for you to get in the ISUPK and learn to serve the God of your fathers, which is the only protection you will ever have. Not your paperwork, not your job, your degree, your gun, your security clearance, your lawyer, your mama, your pastor. Nothing can protect you from the devil that the Bible speaks of, except the living God.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man, if you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're one